Hello classmates, today I'm going to be talking about Cameron Todd Willingham. Now, Cameron Todd Willingham, this is an important case because this is a capital murder case. Now, this happened down in Texas, so usually when you're talking capital murder, we're talking guns. Nope. In this case, we're talking arson. That's right, fire. Alright, so basically on December 23rd, Cameron Todd Willingham's house caught on fire. So when witnesses and everybody like that came outside, they saw Todd sitting there and his house was burning and he was yelling, my kids, crying about it and all that stuff. Now, when firemen and everybody else got there, they went in the house and they finally found the kids, but unfortunately the kids died. All the kids died. Amber, Cameron, and Carmen. Those were the three kids. Now, the mother at the time, Stacy, was at work and she was called later and told about it. Now, the reason this became a capital murder case was because getting to Todd's past and the events after the fire, Todd had a troubled past. He started doing drugs in 6th grade, and investigators looked into all this stuff, and he was arrested for a bunch of stupid little stuff. But months before he got married to Stacy, his wife, and the mother of the three kids, and he was very abusive to Stacy, but not necessarily the kids. He beat her, yelled at her, all that stuff. The neighbors heard, the cops showed up a couple times. And after the fire, he acted not like a father should. He wasn't remorseful. He actually went out and partied at their benefit, really. He was out having a good time, and people saw that and thought it was really weird. So very quickly, investigators turned to arson instead of an accidental fire. Now, at the time, fire investigation was kind of, old school, so there wasn't as much fire scientists and people who could look this stuff over. Instead, it was just a lot of firemen who looked and saw patterns and thought, oh, look, these are poor spots where Cameron Todd poured gasoline or the charcoal, the kerosene, and, burned the bodies and made a pentagram and all that stuff. Now, going off of all of this, the police brought him in, and he did not act very remorseful at all as they were interviewing him or nothing like that. So, naturally, the case went to trial. Now, the trial went very quickly. Lasted 3 days, and it took the jurors an hour to convict him. Part of the reason was because at the time, convict Johnny Webb was offered to come out and speak for, to get out of jail or something like that, which comes out a lot later. But Johnny Webb basically comes out and says, yes, he came to me and he confessed, which turns out later on down the road is completely wrong. He did that because the prosecutors were helping him get out of jail faster. There was no connection, really. When it comes in terms to the fire, at the time, they just had to go off the initial report, and the initial report said that there were 20 instances of arson. There were 20 instances where, they saw that there were patterns where he poured the liquid, where they found kerosene matches, and everything led back to Todd. Now, unfortunately, this led to the capital murder punishment, which is death. And the entire time throughout the appeals process and everything like that, the advancements started happening, and people like Gerald Hurst came out and, started making, who was a fire scientist, started making it, started coming out with the actual reports from scientists that, they weren't actually pour patterns. As they looked over, they saw they were by windows, and those were ventilation patterns. Everything could be absolutely explained, and that's what these scientists listed. And then Johnny Webb came out and said that he had lied about it. But at the time, it was too late. People saw it, but they didn't stop it, and in the end, they let Cameron Todd Willingham get executed. Even the governor saw it, but he knew he's the governor. He can't go lenient on crimes, so they kind of let it happen. Unfortunately, these advancements didn't take place until later, and unfortunately too late. These reports came out a few days before he was executed, and unfortunately they still went ahead and executed him. And that was Cameron Todd Willingham's case.